Have you ever had trouble creating a concise and compelling story for your business? Have you struggled trying to figure out exactly what to share so you don't go overboard? Or not known which story to use for the audience that you're talking with? Almost every entrepreneur faces these challenges in the early stages of your company when it comes to your story. I know this firsthand because I struggled with it in the first few startups that I did. Over time, I got better at it through brute force and lots of trial and error. But it wasn't until I launched a startup in the media space that enabled me to spend time with the top founders in the world where I learned from the best of the best and how they did it. And during this time, I made an incredibly important discovery, one that enabled me to not only overcome these challenges in spades, but understand the sheer power of the entrepreneurial story. Hi, I'm Lynn Graft, founder of Storytelling for Entrepreneurs, where we help founders leverage the power of story to launch and grow their business. For the last 15 years, I've had the unique opportunity to film 500 of the world's top entrepreneurs, such as the founders of Starbucks, Whole Foods, Tom's, and LinkedIn, producing over 800 videos, TV shows, and web content sharing their stories to clients such as Entrepreneur Magazine, CNBC, Microsoft, Dell, and more than 100 corporations and startups. As I produced this founder-based content, I became better at capturing and telling stories in a concise and compelling manner. Simultaneously, executives, corporations, and entrepreneurs asked me if I could help them with their story. Since I was going to be teaching others about it, I decided I wanted to do a deep dive in the art and science of entrepreneurial storytelling to understand how these incredibly successful entrepreneurs leverage the power of story to launch and create great brands. Hence, I dove into the history of story and discovered a number of frameworks, structures, and methodologies from the Greeks to the Romans on how they create and tell a great story. I began reading books on the subject of story, talked to writers, researched the works of well-known film and narrative structure experts such as Robert McKee and Joseph Campbell. Though this deep dive was fascinating, it was also confusing and frustrating, because I knew these complex structures inherent in great storytelling in books, movies, and plays weren't designed with the business owner in mind. These structures were created for people working in entertainment or publishing where they had a captive audience or they had a lot of time to tell their story, and they weren't designed for someone that needed from someone in the audience to get something from them, meaning they weren't designed with the entrepreneur in mind. And I knew these founders didn't have the time nor the inclination to learn these complicated structures. To be sure, I even asked a number of successful founders I'd filmed what they had used in coming up with their founding story and how it evolved over time. Almost no one had studied this subject. It either came to them naturally or they just figured it out on their own. So I decided to start from scratch and learn entrepreneurial storytelling from those who knew it better than anyone else, successful entrepreneurs. So I went back and I rewatched the footage of those big name entrepreneurs and reviewed countless transcripts from our interviews. I thought about the most memorable talks I had seen entrepreneurs give in graduate school, at conferences, and at trade shows, and numerous times I'd spent on multiple days with entrepreneurs filming them at their house or office. I reflected on the times I've been able to sit in a room with founders over dinner or drinks and have intimate discussions and extended talks about their story. I sifted through autobiographies that I collected about the founders I admired the most, and I read hundreds of articles that I saved from the ones I'd been studying. I remember the way these entrepreneurs shared how they started their company, what led to the idea, or the aha moment that changed everything. I love these stories, but I couldn't put my finger necessarily on what they were doing or saying from a story structure perspective that I could teach that was easy to understand, compelling to use, and natural to learn. Until one founder story that I'd filmed years ago stopped me in my tracks. It was Howard Schultz, the founder of Starbucks. I had filmed Howard for the CNBC primetime TV series we created and produced called American Made. He was the first entrepreneur we filmed for the series and is still one of my favorite entrepreneurial storytellers that I've ever shot. I'd seen this footage many times over the years, but this time I saw it differently. It spoke to me in this almost crystal clear unveiling of what he was doing and how he was saying it. I was awestruck by it. How could it be this simple? But it was. I went back over other founder stories and they were all the same. It didn't matter the industry, whether it was a product or a service, and it didn't matter their age or their background. This discovery led to the definition of story I now use to teach founders. Over time, I used it to create a simple to use and easy to implement framework I call the Storytelling for Entrepreneurs Framework, or SOFI for short. And I've used SOFI hundreds of times coaching entrepreneurs on how to create and tell their best story, working with startups to improve their story for sales, getting press, or fundraising, and just about every business need that they have, as well as teaching executives how to leverage the power of story to grow their business. And this is exactly why I created the first ever Storytelling for Entrepreneurs Storytelling Intensive Workshop, so I could share this definition and framework with you, as well as the knowledge I've gained and the tools I've developed specifically for business owner. This hands-on intensive workshop is going to be held September 30th and October 1st in Austin, Texas. It's designed for first-time founders looking for help creating a story for their business, seasoned entrepreneurs looking to leverage the power of story to launch and grow their startup, and business owners looking to understand how story can help them get the resources they need to be successful. If you have a great product or service or idea, or a company in the making, if you want help learning the exact steps to creating a concise, compelling story for your business, if you want to know what to say and what story to use to different audience, this is the event you need to be at. If you want to discover tools and techniques to differentiate your story and make it more succinct, if you want to receive direct feedback on your story and connect with like-minded, purpose-driven entrepreneurs that want to leverage the power of story, then click on the button below and join us in Austin for this event. The venue and small size of this workshop is going to make for an intimate gathering of founders all looking to create a great story for their business and help others do the same. We have an incredible lineup of speakers, business experts, and purpose-driven founders at this stellar venue called the Hickory House in Barton Springs, just southwest of Austin. The two-day event will be complemented by great food, tasty beverages, and snacks provided by local Austin companies, with a few of the founders joining us to share their stories about their products that you'll be having. We're going to be working on your story to help you learn how to create and tell it, as well as answer specific questions you have on it and storytelling in general. You will also get to practice sharing it and getting feedback from myself and other business experts and fellow founders in the room. This will be two of the best days of the year for you to invest in yourself and your story to help make your business a success. I work every single day on learning the art and science of entrepreneurial storytelling, precisely for events like this, where I can share this knowledge and help founders pursue their dreams and build the businesses they were destined to create. Over the years, there's one thing I've learned. A great story can change your life as an entrepreneur. This gathering will be just the catalyst you need to expedite that change and help you get to the next level. I hope you will join us for this workshop and be part of this incredible first-time experience. I'm really proud to offer you this invitation, and I look forward to seeing you in Austin. Thanks for watching.